Today I am going to discuss about mass spectrometry. The term indicates that mass spectrometry. Spectrometry, usually spectrometry is nothing but it is something different from the spectroscopy, usual spectroscopy. The main difference between spectroscopy and spectrometry is in this electromagnetic radiation is interacted, whereas in this electron beam is interacted. Here in this sample can be recovered, whereas in this we cannot recover the sample because it will undergo decomposition. So the main application of this mass spectrometry is we will get the molecular formula, molecular weight as well as molecular formula. So the main application of this mass spectrometry is that we will get the molecular weight of the sample as well as the molecular formula of the sample. The principle involved in mass spectrometry is, what is the principle involved in mass spectrometry? Usually we will record the mass spectrometry for a given sample based on three techniques: either ionization technique or desorption technique or spray technique. So based on the nature of the sample, we will select the appropriate technique for recording the mass spectrometry. Usually we will record the mass spectrum by utilizing three ways, that is either ionization or desorption or spray technique. So we will discuss one of the technique, that is ionization technique. In this ionization technique, what we usually do is we will take the sample, that is molecule sample. This is the sample or the molecule. So this sample first heated to convert into vapor phase. So it is converted into vapor phase by heating. By heating, the molecule is converted into vapor phase. So in order to record the mass spectrometry for a given molecule, the sample must be in vapor phase. Vapor phase of the sample. So the condition is that the sample must be in vapor phase. After that, we have to collide this vapor phase of the sample with the electron beam, a beam of electrons having 70 electron volts energy. So when we collide this electron beam having 70 electron volts energy, it will collide with the vapor phase of the sample. So what happens here? One electron is lost by the molecule to form a cation radical. This is called cation radical. So by colliding the electron beam with the vapor phase of a sample, we will get a molecular ion which is of cation radical nature. So here the molecule will lose one electron to convert into cation radical. So this is called ionization energy. So usually all the organic molecules will have of ionization energy approximately equals to 15 electron volts. So all organic molecules will have ionization energy around 15 electron volts. So we have applied here 70 electron volts. So here what the electron beam will do? It will take out one electron from the molecule and which will be converted into cation radical. Why only cation radical is formed here? Because most of the organic molecules are even electron species. They are even electron species. So for example, let us take methane molecule. So here 6 from carbon atom, 12 electrons and 3 from hydrogen atom, totally 18 electrons. So this is a even electron species. So what happens here? A bond is having 2 electrons. When we remove one electron from the molecular orbital of this methane molecule, what do we get here? We will get a cation radical species. So when we remove one electron from the molecular orbital of this molecule, we will get a radical as well as cation within the same molecule. So usually organic molecules are even electron species, so it will contain even electrons. When we remove one electron from the molecular orbital, so upon ionization of a molecule, we will get a cation radical. So when we collide the vapor phase of a sample with the electron beam having 70 electron volts energy, it will loses one electron, undergo ionization process to give a cation radical species. So here what happens further? So for ionization the energy required is only 15 electron volts, but here what we are doing, here we are colliding the sample with 70 electron volts energy. The remaining energy, that is the remaining energy is approximately it is equals to the 55 electron volts. This 55 electrons volts of energy, it will completely break the molecular ion formed in this step into fragmentation. So here what happens? This molecular ion will undergo fragmentation. So this fragmentation is nothing but breaking the molecular ion, breaking of bonds, breaking of variety of covalent bonds in the molecular ion to form various smaller species, that is called fragments. This process is called fragmentation. So in fragmentation what happens? Usually breaking of variety of covalent bonds in the molecular species. So this fragmentation process, what happens? The molecular ion will undergo fragmentation to give various small fragments, like maybe cation or cation radical or radical or neutral species or anions. These variety of fragments will be formed during the fragmentation process. So just now I mentioned that fragmentation is nothing but it is the breakage of cleavage of variety of covalent bonds present in the molecular ion due to the excess energy electron beam is called fragmentation. So fragmentation, during the fragmentation the molecular ion will be converted into smaller fragments. So this is called molecular ion. These are called fragment ions. These are called fragment ions. So this is molecular ion, this is fragment ion. So usually we will get fragment ions from the molecular ion. Therefore this is called parent ion. This is called daughter ion. This is called daughter ion. So fragment ions are obtained from the molecular ion by a fragmentation process. Therefore these are called daughter ions. This is called parent ion. And even we can call this molecular ion as a cation radical species. Cation radical. Cation radical. So during the fragmentation we will get the variety of fragments having cation or cation radical or neutral species or anion. So now in this mass spectrometry usually we will analyze the m by z value, that is mass to the charge ratio of these fragments with respect to the relative abundance. Usually we will analyze either positive charged species or negative charged species. If we analyze the positive charged species in the mass spectrometry, then that is called positive ion mass spectrometry. That is called positive ion mass spectrometry. So in positive ion mass spectrometry we record only positive ions, m by z values with respect to their relative abundance. In some cases, if we record the m by z values of negative charged species in mass spectrometry, then that is called negative ion mass spectrometry. This is called negative ion mass spectrometry. So mass spectrometry is of two types. Positive ion mass spectrometry, negative ion mass spectrometry. If you analyze it usually in our laboratory, we will use majority cases positive ion mass spectrometry. So usually positive ions are analyzed in mass spectrometry. So how do we represent the mass spectra? The representation of mass spectra is like this. On y-axis we will take the relative abundance, or it is also called as intensity, versus m by z of various ions. M by z of ions. M means mass, z means charge. So mass to the charge of these various ions versus relative abundance. So in this way we will represent the mass spectrometry. The principle involved in mass spectrometry is that usually it will undergo ionization in the first step to form molecular ion, which will undergo further fragmentation, that is cleavage of variety of covalent bonds in the molecular ion to form various smaller fragments, and accordingly the positively charged species are analyzed in the mass spectrometry, and we represent this mass spectrometry by taking the m by z values of ions on the x-axis, relative abundance on the y-axis.